Okay, so if you're building anything with AI right now, you know the landscape can feel, well, a little chaotic. It's a mess of different frameworks. Today, we're going to break down Microsoft's big answer to all that, a brand new agent framework that's not just about cleaning up the confusion, but about unlocking the next wave of truly autonomous systems.
I know what you're thinking. Another framework from Microsoft? Really? If you're working in their ecosystem, you've probably got some serious framework fatigue. I mean, we've had SDKs, then Semantic Kernel, then AutoGen. It's a lot. So the big question is, why on earth do we need another one?
Well, the answer is actually pretty simple and pretty great. This isn't about adding one more thing to the pile. This is about consolidation. It's about taking all the best parts of everything that came before and finally creating one single unified path for building AI agents. To really get why this new agent framework is such a big deal, you kind of have to look at the journey that got us here. It's really a story about evolution, right? Moving from just raw coding power toward building systems that are truly structured and intelligent. And you can see that story play out right here. It started with the basic SDKs. They were powerful, sure, but you had to write a ton of custom code for basic stuff like memory or API calls. Then came Semantic Kernel, which was a huge step up. It gave us structure with skills and planners. After that, AutoGen really nailed multi-agent collaboration. But now, the new agent framework is the final stage of that evolution, taking all those lessons and putting them into one complete, enterprise-ready package. And this quote from Arafat Tessin, one of the developers, just nails it. The mission here is all about unification. It's not about throwing away the old stuff. It's about integrating it, improving it, and giving developers one single consistent way to work.
So here's the crucial part. You don't have to choose anymore. You get the best of both worlds. You get all the serious enterprise-grade structure from Semantic Kernel, and you get all the flexible, powerful multi-agent magic that made AutoGen so popular. It's all in one place.
So how does this whole thing actually work? Let's pop the hood and look at the core components. Think of these as the fundamental Lego bricks you'll be using to build these really sophisticated AI systems. First up, you've got the agent. This is the star of the show, the brain of the whole operation. It's the part that takes in information, uses a large language model to think about it, and then decides, okay, what do I do next? Next, there's the thread. This is basically the agent's memory. It's what keeps track of the conversation history. It's how the agent can remember what you asked it 5 minutes ago, which is what makes the whole interaction feel natural and not like you're starting over every single time. Now, tools, these are the agent's hands. If the agent is the brain, tools are how it actually interacts with the real world. A tool could be a simple function or a complex API call that lets the agent go fetch data, send an email, or update a record in a database. It's how stuff actually gets done. And this component, middleware, is where you can really see the focus on enterprise-level needs. Think of it like a security checkpoint. You can plug in all the important stuff, like logging, user approvals, or data validation, without having to mess with the agent's core logic. It keeps things clean, secure, and way easier to maintain. And finally, we have the workflow. This is the big picture. If an agent is a single musician, the workflow is the conductor of the entire orchestra. It's how you lay out a complex, multi-step process and get multiple agents and tools all working together to solve a much bigger problem. Okay, so that's all the theory. But what does this actually look like when you sit down to write some code? Let's take a peek, because you'll see pretty quickly that one of the best things about this framework is just how clean and simple it is for developers. For all you .NET developers out there, look how easy this is. You basically just set up your client, define the agent with a few instructions on what it should do, and bam, you're ready to go. We're talking just a handful of lines of code to get a basic agent up and running. And here is the beautiful part. For Python developers, it's pretty much the exact same experience. And that consistency is a huge deal. It means you have one mental model, one contract for how agents and tools work, no matter what language your team is using. But it goes way beyond just clean code. This framework was built for the real world, right out of the box. You get things like typed tool calls, which makes your code safer. You get built-in guardrails and approval flows, so a human can always be in the loop. And maybe most importantly, observability is baked right in, so you can actually look back and trace why an agent made the decision it did. It gives you a super clear path from a quick prototype to a full-blown production system. All right, let's zoom out for a minute, because this framework isn't just about making slightly better chatbots. This is about enabling a whole new class of software, truly autonomous systems.
And to get that, you have to understand this key distinction. On one hand, you have AI agents, which is what we're mostly used to today. They're specialists, right? They focus on one specific task, like summarizing an email. But on the other hand, you have agentic AI. Think of this as a self-managing team of specialists. Its scope is way bigger. It handles complex goals. It's highly autonomous and proactive, not just reactive. And in terms of collaboration, it's a conductive, orchestrating a whole symphony of agents and tools to get the job done.
And that is the entire point. This new framework gives you the specific building blocks you need to create these advanced, autonomous, agentic systems. It's the foundation for moving beyond simple little task bots and into a world of complex, automated workflows.
And you don't have to just take my word for it. Microsoft is being crystal clear about this. This framework is their #1 recommendation for any new agent-based project. Sure, the older frameworks are still supported, but all the new investment, all the new innovation, it's all happening right here. This is the official starting line for anything new.
So when you think about it, this framework opens the door to automating entire business processes that were just too complicated or fragile to touch with AI before. The question really isn't if you'll use it, it's what huge, complex, ambitious process are you going to automate first?